Laser!
What's up, guys? Max Scoville here for Destructoid, and I'm here at E3, and I'm at the Bethesda booth, and I just played Dawnguard. I know this isn't a poster for Dawnguard, this is Elder Scrolls Online, but they don't have any Dawnguard posters up, so I'm standing next to this one. Anyway, Dawnguard, we're all pretty excited about that. We all thought it was going to be like snow elves and mystery snow islands and stuff like that, but turns out it is vampires and vampire hunters. That is the new content. The demo I got to play takes place about 2 hours or so into the game, and this is the vampire half of the storyline. You can pick the Dawnguard, the vampire hunters, or the vampires, and in the demo I was playing as the vampires, which started out in this castle, talking to this vampire lady, and she's asking me to go help her find her mom, who just happens to be stuck in a plane of oblivion called the Soul Cairn. This is the big purple portal we saw in the trailer. So going down there, exploring this kind of barren wasteland of oblivion with, you know, purple glowing shit everywhere and spooky skeletons wandering around. We find her mom, who's locked up, and it goes off on this quest about, you know, finding an Elder Scroll and stuff like that. And it didn't really make a whole lot of sense because it was about 2 hours in. But all that aside, the new content is what's really exciting, and probably the big thing is turning into a vampire lord, which is the creepy bat thing we saw, like the guys in Blade 2. You activate that by hitting the right bumper, sort of like you would your dragon shouts, and in doing so there's a nice transformation animation, and then you can sort of like float around. You can't properly fly, unfortunately. You've got some melee attacks, you've got some really cool new spells. For instance, you can summon a gargoyle, who is gross looking and attacks people for you. You can sort of turn into a cloud of bats and do like a quick burst teleportation. That works twice before you have to let it recharge like you would your dragon shouts. There's also one, I looked at the skill tree. Hitting B does not bring up your typical menu, it just brings up the skill tree, which is specifically for the Vampire Lord. The highest perk I saw in there was one where you just are constantly surrounded by a cloud of bats, and they will attack people nearby. There's a lot of, obviously, draining effects that you can do because you're a vampire. One of them, you basically do like a force pull, and you summon someone towards you, and then you kind of choke them, and then you get their life force because you're a vampire, obviously. As the Vampire Lord, you've got kind of a different layout in terms of attacks and stuff. Basically, you know, holding down X will equip and unequip spells, and if you have them unequipped, you can use left and right trigger as melee attacks. Having spells equipped, you have your right bumper becomes sort of like one attack, and then you can have your left hand for certain other spells. It's sort of unclear how stuff gets mapped to each one, but I mean, it's a very modular addition in terms of a game mechanic. It's a skill tree separate from everything else, and the controls are slightly different from you would be if you were, you know, just a human or an Argonian or whatever. Of course, there's also the human side of things. I got to play around with a crossbow a little bit, which is it's pretty cool. It feels good shooting stuff with a crossbow. Not quite as exciting as the bow did when I first picked it up, but you hit left trigger and you get this kind of melee attack, and right trigger just fires off a bolt. Apparently there is a dragon that patrols the Soul Cairn who will track you down. I didn't get to see him. I did see some graveyard keepers who were like big 10-foot tall skeleton dudes, and really badass looking, very, very badass. It's a nice deal. Both the Dawnguard and the vampires will wind up in the Soul Cairn exploring this area. There's going to be a lot here. They're saying 10 to 20 hours of gameplay plus side quests, but you know it's Skyrim, so 10 to 20 hours could translate to hundreds of hours. This is coming out sometime this summer. It's hitting Xbox first. It's coming to PlayStation and PC after that. I wish we had more to show you guys, but we only have the trailer that showed up, you know, a couple weeks ago. And I mean, that being said, the beta's happening really soon, so I'm sure we're going to see tons of gameplay coverage before this is actually released. My apologies. As for Elder Scrolls Online, we're going to be checking that out later, as well as tons of other stuff right here at E3. It's very exciting. I like video games. They're lots of fun. You should subscribe to this channel, youtube.com/dtoid, as well as our other gaming channel, that's Rev3 Games, youtube.com/Rev3 Games. And, of course, follow us on Twitter. I'm Max Scoville. This is @dtoid Show. And I hope to see you guys around.